My wife gave me the silent treatment for 1 month. When I realized my life was better without her, I filed for divorce. Now she's begging me to work things out. All right, Reddit. Here's how my wife tried to teach me a lesson, but ended up doing me a favor when I realized her silence was giving me peace. Grab some popcorn and enjoy the shit show. I'm Mason, 36 male. And let me tell you, my marriage didn't blow up overnight. The first years were really good. I met Susie when I was 31. She was 28, had this dry sense of humor, and could quote Die Hard word for word. Small wedding with maybe 20 people. Her older sister Qley showed up looking like someone killed her dog, but whatever. We didn't care. We were good. I work in logistics pulling decent money. Susie's a dental hygienist. Between us, we had this comfortable 3-bedroom place in Scottsdale. No kids. 2 paid-off cars. Gaming setup in the spare room that used to be our hangout spot. Used to be. Because everything shifted about 6 months ago when Qley's marriage imploded. Suddenly, she had unlimited free time and strong opinions about everyone else's relationships. Started showing up unannounced. Every single visit turned into a lecture about how men don't understand emotional labor or appreciate what women sacrifice. Her ex this, her ex that. Constant negativity. My wife started absorbing it. Suddenly, how I loaded the dishwasher was wrong when she literally never mentioned it before. Me gaming with my buddy Nick on Monday nights became this huge issue, even though we'd done it for years. She started keeping a mental scorecard of every household task like we were competing on some reality show. Then Qley dragged her into this book club. Titles like Stop Settling for Less and Reclaim Your Independence from Male Mediocrity. Susie dove in headfirst. The woman who used to laugh at stupid jokes suddenly analyzed everything I said for hidden patriarchal meanings. Every conversation started with Qley says, or Qley thinks. 2 months back, I gently suggested maybe Susie was spending too much time with Qley. Not demanding anything, just, hey, maybe we could use some us time. She looked at me like I'd committed a felony. Qley was right about you. You can't handle a woman having her own life. I shut up after that. Figured I'd wait it out. Big mistake because my silence apparently meant total agreement. Fast forward to 4 weeks ago. Monday evening around 6. Got home to find Susie and Qley in the kitchen watching some YouTube lecture about women's empowerment. I mentioned I'd be gaming with Nick later like always. Our standard Monday thing. Susie didn't even look up. Just kept chopping vegetables with unnecessary force. Qley shot me this look like I'd announced something unbelievable. You're gaming again, Susie said flatly. Don't you think that's excessive? We literally gamed together Saturday morning. You were fine then. That was different. That was the weekend. Qley jumped in because of course she did. See, Susie, this is exactly what we discussed. Men prioritize hobbies over relationships, then act confused when there's resentment. I wasn't talking to you, Qley. That's the problem with men like you. You don't want to hear uncomfortable truths. What truth? I game 2 hours on Monday nights. 1 night per week. Susie has always known this. At least until you started camping out here. Susie's face went red. Qley doesn't live here. She's supporting me through a difficult transition. By convincing you our marriage is terrible? Qley stood up like she was about to deliver a TED talk. I'm helping Susie realize she deserves a partner who contributes equally. Not someone treating her like hired help while playing video games constantly. Monday nights, 2 hours, once a week. I did yard work yesterday, fixed the disposal last week, paid our mortgage this morning, but sure, I'm completely useless. Susie slammed the knife down hard. This isn't about chores. It's about respect and priorities. I literally asked what you needed help with. You said nothing. So I'm doing what I planned. Same as every Monday for years. I went to my office, closed the door, put on my headset and logged in. Nick was already waiting. Yo, what's up, man? Ready to run this? Yeah, let's go. 2 hours later, I logged off and headed downstairs. Qley was gone. Susie sat on the couch. I dropped next to her, figuring we'd talk like adults. She stood up without a word and walked upstairs. I heard the bedroom door close and lock. That was day 1 of the dumbest month of my life. The next morning, Susie had already left for work. No note, no text, nothing. Came home that evening to find her scrolling on her phone at the kitchen table. I set my keys down with a normal greeting. Hey, how was your day? Nothing. Not even a glance in my direction. I waited a solid minute. Susie? Still nothing. She stood up, walked directly past me like I was invisible, and went upstairs. Heard the lock click. Silent treatment. Qley's influence really paying dividends now. Thursday, same routine. Friday, same routine. By Saturday, I realized this wasn't just being upset for a few days. This was a plan to punish me for gaming with my friend and not worshiping at Qley's altar of male inadequacy. Sunday, I texted Nick. Dude, Susie hasn't spoken to me in 5 days? What did you even do? Literally nothing. We argued about gaming Monday and now I apparently don't exist. Bro, that's insane. How long are you letting this go? Honestly? Want to see how long she can actually keep it up? Famous last words right there. Week 1 was fascinating in the worst way. She committed fully to this performance. Made breakfast for herself only, left my dishes piled in the sink, did her laundry, left mine sitting in the hamper, ordered food delivery for one person, and ate directly in front of me. But the second her phone rang, she transformed completely. Suddenly cheerful, laughing, totally normal sounding. Then she'd hang up and I'd go back to not existing. Qley called every single day. Susie never tried lowering her voice during these conversations. He's being impossible as usual. No, he hasn't apologized. You were right. I should have listened to you years ago. By day 6, I figured it out. This was a power play. She wanted me to crack, to beg for forgiveness. I'd watched Qley pull this exact move at Christmas 2 years back. Some cousin said something Qley didn't like, and she froze the woman out all night. Cousin ended up crying in the bathroom. The difference was, I'm not some desperate relative seeking Qley's validation. I'm a grown man in my own house paying my own bills. So I knew exactly what to do. Day 7, I was watching basketball. Susie came downstairs and just stood there in my peripheral vision, waiting for me to notice, to pause the game, to ask what was wrong and start groveling. I kept watching the game. She cleared her throat, loud and obvious. I still didn't look. She stomped back upstairs. 30 seconds later, I heard her voice. He's so stubborn. Won't even try fixing this. She wasn't hurt. She was trying to train me like some dog. Give the husband silence until he learns to submit properly. The problem was, without her constant criticism, the house felt peaceful. No complaints about my coffee cup placement. No lectures about my TV choices. No suggestions that were actually criticisms in disguise. I could actually breathe. That night, I made a decision. If she wanted to play games, I'd play, but by my rules. I went into the spare room that had somehow become her storage dump over 6 months. My gaming setup was buried under piles of her stuff. Clothes she never wore. Decorations never used. Random purchases still in boxes. Spent 2 hours clearing everything out. Moved it all to the garage. Set up my gaming chair where it belonged. Organized my monitors properly. Connected everything the right way. Mechanical keyboard. Good mouse. Decent headset. The room looked like mine again. The next morning I woke up early. Made coffee. Fired up my computer. Messaged Nick. You around today? Always. What's going on? Susie's still doing the silent thing. Been a full week. Setting up the gaming room properly. Want to run some matches? Heck yeah. Give me 20 minutes. Susie came downstairs around 9. I heard her pause outside my door. Game audio clearly audible. Keyboard clicking away. She stood there a solid minute just listening. I kept playing. She walked away. The bedroom door slammed hard enough to rattle the frame. Nick's voice came. Dude, was that a door slamming? Yeah, that's Susie expressing her feelings. She's not even talking to you. What's she gonna do, not talk louder? I actually laughed. Good point. We played for 3 hours. I'd forgotten how good this felt. Not just the games themselves, but the actual freedom. No worrying about Susie getting upset. No Qley explaining why my hobbies represented toxic masculinity. Just me doing what I wanted. When we finished, she was making lunch in the kitchen. I walked past to grab water from the fridge. She looked at me with this expectation on her face. Guilt, maybe. An apology. I smiled, grabbed my water, walked back to my room. Her face went completely red. She slammed the fridge door so hard the whole thing shook. Day 8, I added more gaming sessions. Morning with Nick. Afternoon solo. Evening with our old guild I hadn't played with in months because Susie always complained about it. They were genuinely shocked to see me online. Dude, where have you been? Long story, I'm back now though. And just like that, Susie's punishment was accidentally giving me permission to do everything she'd slowly been cutting out of my life, and I was taking full advantage. Day 9, Nick actually came over. Brought his laptop. We set up in my room like old times. Proper setup. Pizza delivery. Energy drinks. Tournament brackets going. Susie walked past the doorway and saw Nick sitting there. Saw us laughing and talking. She looked at me like I'd pissed in her cereal. But she couldn't say anything without breaking her precious silent treatment. Nick noticed immediately. Your wife just death stared me. Yeah, she does that constantly now. How long is this actually lasting? No idea. But I'm not stopping either way. What do you mean? The longer she stays silent, the more I realize how much better everything is. No criticism. No Qley camping out here. No guilt for breathing, just peace. Bro, are you actually okay? Better than I've been in months. After Nick left, I sat in my chair staring at the ceiling with real clarity. I'd spent 6 months trying to become whatever husband Susie and Qley decided I should be. Completely forgot who I actually was before that. The silent treatment wasn't punishment anymore. It was freedom. Week 2. I stopped just gaming. Started systematically taking back every part of my life Susie had slowly eroded over months. She watched in total silence, trapped by her own strategy. Living room went first. Susie had rearranged everything to optimize her reality show viewing. Couch at weird angles, coffee table pushed too far out, made watching sports physically uncomfortable. Saturday morning, I moved everything back my way. Couch facing the TV properly, coffee table at perfect foot height, gaming chair in the corner where it belonged. She came downstairs and froze completely, mouth opening and closing, wanting desperately to complain, needing to, but she couldn't without admitting total failure. She grabbed her purse and left, didn't come back for 4 hours. When she returned, I was comfortable with my feet up, game on the big screen. She stood in the doorway, clearly waiting for guilt to hit me. I didn't even look up. The kitchen was next. Susie had gotten weird about counter space over the past few months. Everything hidden away except her useless decorative jars. My protein powder banished to the pantry. Vitamins stuffed in drawers. The toaster oven moved to the garage because it supposedly ruined her aesthetic. Forget that noise. I set up a proper morning station. Toaster out and ready. Coffee maker positioned perfectly. Protein powder right there. Vitamins organized and visible. Everything actually accessible. Every morning I'd make coffee at my station. Susie had to physically navigate around my setup. Frustration written across her face, but what could she possibly say? Then I started cooking whatever I actually wanted. For months, Susie had meal prepped based on Qley's recommendations. Bland chicken breast, quinoa salads, health food that tasted like cardboard. Suggesting burgers or tacos got me lectures about nutrition and cholesterol. Now I cooked real food. Spicy wings, loaded nachos, thick steaks with garlic butter, meals that tasted good. Susie would smell it cooking and hover nearby, obviously wanting some, but she couldn't ask without speaking first. So she'd make her sad protein smoothies while my actual dinner filled the entire house. Day 14. Nick came over again, ordered ridiculous amounts of Chinese food. Full-day gaming marathon, both computers running side by side. You're really leaning hard into this silence thing, huh? Why not? She wanted me to suffer, apparently. Instead, I'm having the best time in months. What's your actual endgame here? Living my life. If she wants to stop ignoring me, she can. If not, I'm definitely not suffering. Nick left around 10. Before heading out, he pulled me aside quietly. You seem lighter somehow. Like the real you is actually back. That's called being single while married, man. He was completely right. I was living like a bachelor in my own house, and I'd literally never been happier. The garage became my next project. Susie had filled it with storage overflow, seasonal decorations, old clothes from 3 sizes ago, random purchases she forgot about. My workbench completely buried and useless. Sunday I cleared everything out, moved all her stuff to one corner, set up my bench exactly how I wanted it, organized every tool properly. Then I started a project I'd been planning for over a year. Custom PC build. High-end gaming rig with parts I'd slowly collected but never assembled because Susie always complained about the money or time investment or noise level. Power tools and thermal paste filled the garage all afternoon. Susie appeared in the doorway, watched me work for several minutes straight. I could physically feel her wanting to ask what I was building, to comment on it, to criticize something. She just turned and walked away silently. That night, I texted Nick a picture of the setup. 3 monitors. RGB everything. Completely ridiculous and perfect. Bro, that's beautiful. Your wife must be absolutely losing it. Pretty sure she is. Still hasn't said a single word, though. Dude, how long are you actually letting this go? As long as it takes, honestly? For what? To figure out if I even want her to start talking again. There it was. The thought I'd been avoiding for 2 solid weeks. The silent treatment was supposed to make me desperate for her attention. Instead, it made me question why I ever wanted that attention in the first place. Week 3. Susie started legitimately losing it. Silent treatment breaking her down instead of me. I could see it in how she moved around the house, how she'd hover outside my door listening, how aggressively she slammed cabinet doors. Qley was over constantly now. Whispered conversations that kept getting louder and angrier. He's doing this specifically to spite you, trying to prove he doesn't need you. That's textbook manipulation. The irony was absolutely hilarious. I was playing games, cooking food I liked, living my normal life. That's manipulation, apparently. Day 19. Nick and I were mid-raid when I heard Susie on the phone, voice carrying through the whole house, not even trying to be quiet anymore. It's been almost 3 weeks, Qley. He genuinely doesn't care. He's actually happier now, gaming every single day, acting like I don't exist, like our entire marriage means nothing. Qley's voice just as loud through the speaker. You're showing him he can walk all over you. You need to escalate this somehow. Make him understand what he's actually losing. How exactly? He won't even look at me anymore. I don't know, Susie, but you cannot break first. That means he wins everything. Nick's voice came through my headset. Dude, are you hearing this conversation? Yeah, loud and clear. Your wife is taking marriage advice from her divorced sister. You see the problem there? Oh, I see it perfectly. What are you actually gonna do? Honestly? Starting to think about making this permanent. Nick went completely quiet for a second. You mean divorce? Every single day makes it clearer I'm legitimately better off without her. Day 21, Susie's parents came over unexpectedly. First time I'd seen them in a month. They showed up with casserole dishes looking genuinely confused about everything. Susie let them in, hugged them both, started chatting like everything was completely normal. Her dad spotted me and waved casually. Hey, sport. How's work treating you? It's good. I stood and shook his hand properly. Susie's smile faltered. She probably expected me to ignore them or cause some scene, but I was totally normal. We sat for dinner together. Susie's mom had made pot roast. I complimented it, asked about their week, talked about work projects. Completely normal Sunday dinner conversation. Meanwhile, Susie sat there getting progressively more agitated because I wasn't playing along with whatever narrative she'd built. Her dad asked about holiday plans coming up. Susie jumped in quickly. We haven't actually discussed that yet. First words she'd spoken in my presence in 3 solid weeks. Her parents didn't notice the significance. After they left, she spun on me immediately. You did that on purpose. I started cleaning dishes calmly. Put them in the dishwasher. Wiped down the table. Didn't say a single word back. Her face went completely red. Don't you dare ignore me now. You can talk to my parents but not your own wife? I walked to my gaming room, closed the door, put on my headset. She followed right behind, stood in the doorway, staring. You can't just shut me out like this. I booted up my game. Nick was already online waiting. Actually, Susie, I can. You spent 3 weeks showing me exactly how. That's completely different. I had actual reasons. So do I. I finally realized how much better my life is when you're not actually part of it. Her jaw dropped. She stood there for 10 seconds, just processing, then turned and ran upstairs. Bedroom door slammed, then crying, then immediate phone call to Qley. Nick's voice in my ear. Did you just tell your wife you're better off without her? Yeah. Bro, I think you just won this whole thing. Didn't feel like winning. Felt like clarity. Week 4. Susie actually tried changing tactics. She made breakfast for both of us Monday morning. Left it on the table with a note. Hope you have a good day. I took a picture and sent it to Nick. Day 23 and she's cracking hard. He responded immediately. Hold the line, soldier. I ate the breakfast. Didn't thank her. Didn't acknowledge the note at all. Went to work like normal. That night she made dinner. My actual favorite meatloaf recipe. Served it without speaking. Sat directly across from me at the table. We ate in silence. When finished, I put my plate in the dishwasher and went to my room. She followed close behind. Are you really not going to say anything? Voice smaller now, almost pleading quality to it. What exactly do you want me to say? That you forgive me. That we can move past this somehow. That our marriage actually matters to you. I looked at her for the first time in weeks. Saw someone who let her bitter divorced sister poison her thinking completely. Who punished me for having a basic hobby. Who made me feel guilty for simply existing in my own house. I saw someone I didn't want to be married to anymore. Our marriage would matter if you hadn't spent 6 months turning it into a prison. If you hadn't let Qley convince you everything I do is somehow wrong. If you hadn't given me silent treatment for 3 weeks because I wanted to play games with my friend 1 night per week. She started crying hard. I didn't mean for it to go this far. I didn't think. But it did go this far. And it showed me exactly what you think of me. You wanted to teach me some lesson. Congratulations, Susie. The lesson I learned is I respect myself more than whatever we've become. I'm sorry. I'll do better. We can fix this together. I turned back to my computer screen. No, Susie. We really can't. She stood there another full minute, then left quietly. I heard her on the phone with Qley immediately. He says he's completely done. What do I even do now? Qley's response loud enough to hear clearly. He's bluffing. Men always come back eventually. Give him space, and he'll realize he can't do any better than you. That exact moment I knew for absolute certain. Not because I was angry, not for revenge, but because staying married meant staying connected to Qley's toxic worldview forever. I'd genuinely rather be alone. I opened my browser and researched divorce attorneys in Phoenix. Day 29. I took a personal day from work. After Susie left for her shift, I drove downtown to Monica's law office. Tell me what's going on in your situation. We spent 2 hours going through everything methodically. The house situation, cars, bank accounts mostly kept separate. No kids involved. No major shared debts except the mortgage. This should be relatively straightforward. When would you like these served? Tomorrow morning, day 30 exactly. Feels right. On the drive home, I stopped at a flower shop. Got white lilies. That night, I gamed until 3 in the morning. Didn't tell Nick yet about the papers. Just enjoyed one last night of pure peace before everything changed tomorrow. Susie was asleep upstairs, probably dreaming about me finally breaking and begging for forgiveness. She had absolutely no clue what was coming. Woke up at 6, made coffee, set up the white lilies on the kitchen table in a simple vase. Folded note beside them. Thank you for the most enlightening month of our entire marriage. Under the note, I placed the manila envelope face up. Divorce papers clearly visible through the window. Went to my gaming room. Booted up the computer. Messaged Nick casually. Might need to crash at your place tonight. Fast reply. What's happening, man? You'll see soon enough. Susie came downstairs at 7:45 like clockwork. Heard her footsteps heading to the kitchen. Heard her stop suddenly. Complete silence stretched for a full minute. Papers rustling. She was reading everything. I kept my eyes on the screen. Fast footsteps approaching. She appeared in my doorway holding the papers. Her face completely white. What is this supposed to be? I think you can read just fine. You're divorcing me? Over me not talking for 1 month? I turned my chair to face her directly. No, Susie, because this month showed me exactly who you've become, and I don't want to be married to that person anymore. You can't be serious. We can fix this. There's nothing to fix. You gave me a month of silence to punish me for gaming with my friend. Instead, you accidentally gave me a month to realize how much better my actual life is without you, without Qley, without constant criticism, without walking on eggshells in my own house. Her hands were shaking. This is completely insane. You're throwing away our marriage because I was upset? You weren't upset, Susie. You were playing power games. It completely backfired. You wanted to show me what life without your attention looked like. Mission accomplished. Turns out I genuinely like it better. She threw the papers onto my desk. I won't sign these. You can't make me. You don't have to sign anything. Arizona is no-fault divorce. I can divorce you with or without your cooperation, but you will sign eventually. Because fighting just costs us both money, neither of us needs to waste. Her face cycled through about 5 different emotions rapidly. Then, realization seemed to hit. Qley was right about you from the start. You can't handle a strong, independent woman. I actually laughed. Qley, your bitter divorced sister who's been poisoning your head for 6 straight months. Yeah, let's definitely trust her judgment on successful relationships. That's clearly worked out great. Don't you dare blame Qley for this. I'm blaming you for actually listening, for letting her turn you into someone I don't recognize anymore. I stood up. She stumbled backwards slightly. You know what I learned? Peace. Existing without needing permission. Realizing I'd rather be alone and content than together and miserable. She started crying for real. Not manipulative tears. Genuine ones. I'll change everything. I'll tell Qley to stay away permanently. We can do counseling. Whatever you need. I don't want counseling. I don't want to fix this. I want out completely. Please. She grabbed my arm desperately. I love you. I still love you. You loved controlling me. That's a big difference. I pulled away gently. The papers are real. My attorney is Monica. Get your own lawyer. We can do this easy or we can do it hard. That choice is yours. Where are you going right now? Nick's place. I'll be back tomorrow for my stuff. Use the time to process everything and maybe call an attorney. Not Qley, though. Actually call a lawyer. She just stood there crying as I walked past. Grabbed my keys, wallet, and laptop. Walked out the front door. Drove straight to Nick's. He opened the door in pajamas, looking confused. Dude, it's 8:30. Just served Susie divorce papers. His eyes went huge. You actually did it. Yep. Can I crash here for a bit? He stepped aside immediately. My couch is yours, man. But are you okay? Like really okay? I sat down on his couch. For the first time in 6 months, I feel like myself again. So yeah, better than okay, honestly. You went complete scorched earth. No, Nick. I ended my marriage because my wife showed me very clearly I don't need her in my life. Big difference. My phone started buzzing immediately. Susie calling. I declined. Again, declined. Texts started flooding in rapidly. Please come home, we need to talk, you're making a huge mistake. Qley says you're scared of real commitment. I won't let you do this to us. I showed Nick the screen. He whistled low. She's spiraling hard. Let her spiral. My attorney handles everything now. I'm just going to game and enjoy my freedom. We gamed for 6 straight hours. Phone kept going off constantly. By evening, I had 63 missed calls and over 100 texts. Susie, Qley calling me every name possible. Susie's parents asking what happened. I replied to exactly one text. Susie's mom. Susie can explain everything. Immediate response. Surely you two can work this out somehow. I don't want to work it out. No response after that one. Next week was genuinely educational. Susie didn't just spiral normally, she went absolutely nuclear. Qley right there beside her pouring gasoline on everything. Day 2, I went back to grab clothes and gaming equipment. Susie was waiting right inside. Qley there obviously providing moral support or whatever. You can't just leave like this. You owe me a real conversation at minimum. I had a full month for conversations. You specifically chose silence. I grabbed a duffel bag and started packing clothes. This is completely different. You blindsided me with papers. I blindsided you? You spent an entire month pretending I literally didn't exist. What exactly did you expect would happen? Qley jumped in. Classic male behavior. Running away instead of facing real problems. I'm not running. I'm leaving permanently. Big difference. And I'm not even slightly interested in your opinion. Her face went completely red. You're exactly what I told Susie from day 1. A man-child. You don't understand what you're actually giving up here, Susie said through tears. 5 years together. Our home. Our whole life. Our life? This has been Qley's life with you as her puppet. I walked to my gaming room and started unplugging monitors. Qley followed right behind me. You're being selfish. Susie supported you, and this is how you repay her? Supported me how? She criticized my gaming, my food choices, my friends, my use of my own house. What exactly did she support? Susie appeared in the doorway. I was trying to make us better people. Qley was helping me see clearly. Better than what exactly? Happy? We were genuinely happy before Qley got divorced and decided everyone else should be miserable too. I loaded gaming setup into boxes carefully. Took almost 2 hours. 6 boxes total and 3 bags of clothes. I loaded everything into my car. Came back inside one last time. My attorney will contact you about the house. We can sell and split proceeds, or one person buys out the other. I'm not selling our house. Then buy out my half. I honestly don't care either way. Qley stepped forward aggressively. You'll regret this decision. When you're alone and miserable, you'll come crawling back. And Susie won't be waiting around? I looked directly at Susie, not Qley. Is that what you actually think? She didn't answer. Just cried while her sister spoke for her like always. That's what I thought. I left and drove to Nick's. Didn't look back once. Over the following weeks, Susie tried absolutely everything. Qley created family group chats explaining how I'd abandoned Susie. Added me repeatedly. I blocked everyone. Social media campaign launched. Qley posted long rants about men who can't handle strong women. Susie shared everything. When you spend years supporting someone, and they throw it away like trash. Susie's dad called 3 days later. Hey, sport. We want to understand what actually happened here. This doesn't sound like the man I know. What's the real story? I explained everything carefully. 6 months of Qley's influence. The constant criticism. Silent treatment. Realizing I was genuinely happier without it all. He stayed quiet a while. Qley's been living with us temporarily. She's very vocal about your supposed flaws. I'm absolutely sure she is. Look, I won't tell you what to do with your life, but I've never seen you as anything except good to our daughter. If you've reached this point, something serious must have happened. It did. Thanks for actually calling. Susie tried different approaches over the next week. Showed up at Nick's apartment at 11 p.m. Nick answered the door. Is he here right now? It's 11 at night. I need to talk to him. Now. I came to the door. She looked terrible. Red swollen eyes, unwashed hair, old sweatpants. What are you doing here, Susie? Mason, please come home with me. Let's fix this together. Nick disappeared to his room. I stood in the doorway. No. Come on. Are you really going to end our marriage over one thing? Okay, fine. Qley was wrong. I made a mistake. But that doesn't mean we get divorced. Why not? Her face was getting red. I was confused, okay. And now suddenly? Now I see clearly I had something good. And I completely ruined it listening to my sister. Please, Mason, just give me a chance to fix this. She cried harder. I genuinely felt bad, but not bad enough. Susie, I'm actually done with you. You spent 6 months becoming someone I don't recognize. You let your sister dictate everything. I can't do it anymore. No, no, we can figure it out together. Qley will stay away completely, I promise. I don't want to fix it. How can you do this? You're throwing everything away over this? Yes, apparently. She stood there another minute, then walked away slowly, then drove off. The next few days, Qley ramped everything up. Actually called my work. Told my boss I was having a mental breakdown and needed intervention. My boss called me confused. Your ex-sister-in-law just called saying you're in crisis. What's going on? I told him the brief version and told him I was getting divorced. Do you need any time off? Nope. Doing great, actually. He laughed. I'll block her number. Then Qley tried turning mutual friends against me systematically. Created elaborate narratives about emotional abandonment and cruelty. Some people believed her version, but Nick and several others set the record completely straight. Most people ended up siding with me. The ones who didn't weren't real friends anyway. 3 months later, the divorce was finalized. The house sold quickly. We each got $72,000 after the mortgage payoff. Clean split down the middle. I moved into a solid 2-bedroom apartment in Tempe. Set up my gaming room exactly how I wanted it. Had Nick over twice weekly. Joined my old guild full-time again. Started actually living. Susie spiraled further down. Qley moved in with her apparently. According to mutual friends, they spent every night complaining about terrible men over takeout. Susie tried dating someone. Met some guy on an app. Apparently spent the entire first date talking about her ex-husband. No second date happened. Tried a few more times. Same exact result every time. Nobody wants someone that bitter and broken. Qley kept encouraging her, though. Kept insisting she deserved someone better. The irony was absolutely beautiful. Qley destroyed Susie's marriage, convincing her she deserved better. Now destroying her dating life with identical advice. Meanwhile, I was thriving. Started hitting the gym regularly. Got back in actual shape. Made new friends through gaming. Went on a few dates, though. Nothing serious developed yet. The difference was night and day, obvious. I wasn't bitter at all. Life was peaceful. 6 months post-divorce, I ran into Susie at Target. Basically unavoidable in Phoenix. She was shopping with Qley. Both saw me. Qley immediately tried leaving, pulling Susie's arm urgently. But Susie stopped and stared at me. I grabbed what I needed and walked to checkout. Didn't say anything. Didn't acknowledge them. But Susie followed me. Left Qley standing in the aisle. Caught me at my car in the parking lot. Can we talk for a minute? I looked at her carefully. She'd lost noticeable weight, dark circles under her eyes. Looked exhausted and worn down. Talk. I'm sorry. That's what I needed to say to you. Okay. Qley ruined everything. She got completely in my head. I thought you were the problem. But you weren't. She was the whole time. You made your own choices. She nodded slowly. Are you seeing someone now? Not your business. Her face fell hard. Right. Of course not. For what it's worth, I hope you figure things out eventually. But stop listening to your sister. I drove away. She stood there watching until I turned the corner. A few months later, I heard she moved to Denver for a fresh start. Away from Qley finally. Started working on herself. I genuinely hoped it worked out for her. Life kept improving steadily. Bought my dream gaming setup. Started running marathons. Made complete peace with being single and actually enjoyed it. These days when people ask if I regret the divorce, I actually laugh. Regret what exactly? Discovering I'm happier alone than in a miserable marriage? The silent treatment was supposed to teach me a lesson. It absolutely did. Just not the one Susie intended. It taught me love without genuine respect is completely worthless. And it taught me sometimes the trash does take itself out. YouTube just dropped this new hype feature. If you're hooked on this story, smash that hype button. It tells YouTube this video deserves to blow up, and it keeps even crazier stories coming your way.